Coming up today, we'll share a chat that we had with Veldar.
It's meant to be a concept record. It's like dealing with like my depression and anxiety during COVID. So it's meant to be this sort of story of like, you know, playing shows and then like COVID happens, the entire industry locks down, and like mentally I was just like destroyed.
I'll tell you about the Fast and Loud Festival happening this weekend, and Dan will tell you about a month-long anime-inspired food celebration in Newcastle. Produced on Awabakal and Warren My Land, this is The Good Stuff, powered by BYD on Newcastle Live.
This is
Good
stuff.
The good stuff.
The 2023 Fast and Loud Festival is set to take over Lake Macquarie this October with all sorts of action on and off the water. This year's festival will feature exhilarating boat races, car shows, markets, and live music featuring Skunk Hour and SF Wrens. It will be held across 3 locations, including Warners Bay Foreshore, Rathmines Foreshore, and Spears Point Park. To check out the guide, head on over to newcastlelive.com.au.
This is
Good stuff.
Today we're sharing a chat with you that we had with one of Newcastle's most experimental musos at Veldar. We had this chat behind the scenes at West Best Bloc Fest. Feeling good?
Yeah.
Good? All right. I feel like this is the most peaceful it's been here all day.
I do what I can.
This is really peaceful. Does your presence usually, provide peace to others? That's my first question for you.
I don't think so. I think it's normally just stress, isn't it?
Terror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone did say after one of those stag things where I made like spaceship noises, they were like, "You gonna break something, champion?"
That's true. I mean, at the Stag Jam,
Yes.
Emily always does an introduction of the band and goes through each member and, they go for a little rocky solo or whatever, and then you go and just break all of the technology in the world.
Yes.
Is that... What inspired you to start doing that? And what is it that you love about those sounds?
Yeah. So I guess like I just played heaps of like rock music, right? Like in high school, I was doing a lot of like blues things, and then it progressed to like metal bands and stuff. And it just hit a point where I was like, well, what do you do to get away from like conventional bass playing, conventional guitar playing? And then like hearing some random electronic things where like the drums just turned into a glitch.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, cool. That's really arrogant. How do I put that in on bass? And now I just like do it casually.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good though. Like if the audience isn't paying attention and you like make a glitch at them, everyone suddenly looks.
That's true.
Yeah.
So what does it take to put on a Veldar show in terms of gear? Because there's a lot going on stage.
Okay, I'll try and simplify it because we don't have 60 hours. Yeah. So the easiest thing is I'm playing a 6-string bass.
Yep.
And that goes into some pedals, and then that gets sent to the PA.
Okay.
Well, it gets sent to my computer, and then the computer goes to the PA. So there's a bass, that's one thing. There's a microphone.
Yeah.
So singing makes sense. And then I have this giant case of like 2 computers. So one of them is doing all my like audio tracks. So I'm triggering different parts of the songs that I've like put in there. And it's also processing like my actual bass post the pedals and my vocals. The point of all this is that I can hit like a pedal and it changes 7 things. And then it also mutes the specific parts that I'm going to play.
Okay.
So,
okay. Wow.
Yeah. So
That's complex.
It is, yeah. And then there's another computer that does visuals. But we won't worry about it because we don't have enough time. But the idea, right, is like if I'm like, oh, I want to play the bass part of my song.
Yeah.
I hit like the button that does the bass sound for that song, and then I'll play it. And if I'm like, oh, I want to take a solo, like I hit a solo button and then it mutes certain things and like puts the bass back in. And then there's also another controller that's like, I can do it manually. So if I wanted to just drop the drums out and have like a sick like build part where everyone's like, where'd the kick drum go? And then I put it back in there like, oh my God, we can dance
It
again.
came back.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I can also do that thing that like grabs parts and glitches them out. So like, the ba 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 da that sort of stuff.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Thank you.
mind-blowing to me. And there's a lot of what's the word? Randomness.
Yeah. I'll cop randomness.
There's definitely a better word than randomness, but basically it leaves the opportunity for a Veldar set to never really truly be the same.
Oh, yeah, no, I improvised non-stop. The original pitch, like when I was writing the music, was meant to be like, if you took the sort of jazz form of like, you know, these are the chords, and then you can like, when you're playing it, you can, you know, like permutate it however you want. But then putting it over like Flying Lotus beats.
Yeah.
In between songs, I try not to like stop audio, so like I'll quickly loop some things.
Yeah,
and
okay.
then like transition into over like producing on stage. So like making something on the fly to sort of like trying to emulate DJs basically, but like not as good because I don't have like a million tracks to pull from. But it's cool because it's like, oh, I've made this random house thing. It's going to exist for the next 4 minutes. And then we're going to go into like a song that like I've actually like released.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right, so what can we expect from the Savo's set?
Ooh, yeah. Trippy visuals.
Okay.
Yeah, and then like just really heavy hitting like subs. A lot of the like the new stuff that I'm playing from my album that comes out on the 20th of October. Some really like sub heavy stuff. And I get to play that live too, which is hilarious.
Album, 20th of October.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's cool.
So close.
Yes.
So can you tell us what we can expect?
Oh, yeah. It's a bit of a smorgasbord. Like, I do heaps of stuff.
As always.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Spotify hates me. They're like, what genre are you? And I'm like, it's a good question. Yeah, so...
None of them.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them.
There's some cool bits, like... I mean, it's all cool. Like, there's a classical piece that ends it.
Okay,
that I compose. It's just solo bass.
Shit, right.
Yeah. And then the start of it's like this really sort of trippy ambient lo-fi thing. The singles are like throughout the... It's meant to be a concept record. It's like dealing with like my depression, anxiety during COVID. So it's meant to be this sort of story of like, you know, playing shows and then like COVID happens, the entire industry locks down, and like mentally I was just like destroyed.
Yeah.
So trying to like work through that stuff. And yeah, I don't know. There was like things that I wanted to play that I couldn't because I was just so depressed. So trying to pull music out of it. It took like, I've been working on it for like 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's only like 31 minutes long. Because like, yeah, depression ruined my ability to write music. But it's cool. There's like happy parts on it. There's like Your Wish, which is, you know, like a house banger. I mean, sarcastic, which is how I justified it being on the album. Because it's like, oh yeah, the stuff's great. Isn't house music fun? And then the next track's just like, depression beats.
So, in what way has depression impacted your songwriting?
It just stopped. I couldn't.
Yeah.
Like straight up, like I would have, you know, like a bass on, and I couldn't even practice.
Yeah.
Like it was just felt so, like soul crushing, and like I really didn't feel confident. To be making the types of music I wanted to. Like on the first release, Fission Mail, there's a lot of like really offbeat stuff. Because I, like, aesthetically, I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want. And then writing the second album, I was like, oh, I don't even know if, like, that works anymore. Like, I was using a lot more sort of sequences because I was, like, so, I don't know, it just felt unable to make decisions. So there's parts on it where the beats are, like, really, like, straight. And, like, it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that stuff. But, yeah, it was almost this inability to be able to, like, I don't know, play the wonky stuff. Yeah, but it has some guest features too. Like, there's a rapper from Curry called Pistol Whip who's on a track. My friend Grace Finlayson, who does a duo with me, she like pops up for like a couple of seconds at one point.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there's like some cool little sneaky bits on it.
And what's it called?
Immaterial but objective.
Immaterial but objective.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to listen to it. It sounds really, really interesting.
Cheers. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, have a great set this afternoon.
Thank you.
And thanks for coming for a chat.
Anytime. Anytime for Newcastle Live.
This is where it
Sounds good.
Good stuff.
Hunter Street Eatery Menya Mikado will be serving up anime-inspired dishes throughout the month of October. The underrated stars of the Japanese food scene here in Newcastle will also be serving up Japanese cultural favourites in the lead-up to Halloween. Last week saw the kitchen crew pay homage to the manga and anime classic Naruto, and this week they're taking on the cinema masterpiece Spirited Away. It's all happening throughout the month of October in their Newcastle restaurant at 301 Hunter Street. Check out the website newcastlelive.com.au to find out more.
The good stuff. That's it for the good stuff today. I'd love to say a big thank you to Veldar for joining us for a chat. And we'll see you tomorrow from 4 p.m. for more of the good stuff.